Welcome, college football fans, and especially my Miami Hurricanes fans, and even all of the haters, especially this kind here. You guys know exactly who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to you, you know who you are. Welcome to another Miami Hurricanes video. Let's talk about Miami's first week of fall camp. The big question from fall camp, of course, that everyone wants answered is who is going to be Miami's starting quarterback? And honestly, I don't think that Mark Richt knows the answer to that question yet. I've heard coming out of camp that apparently Malik looks really good and he's an excellent leader, and honestly, that he has improved on pretty much every aspect of his game. Evan is super intelligent and knows the playbook very well, and he also has a really good arm on him. And then, of course, we won't get into it, but of course, N'Kosi Perry is still in the mix as well. He is Mark Richt's prize recruit. He is always an option. I know a lot of people don't believe that or don't think that because he's a freshman, but he has a lot of talent and he is an option still and is still in the quarterback race as well. I've heard that the offensive line also appears to be more intelligent and technically sound as opposed to last season where they received a lot of criticism, but there was a lot of younger players on the offensive line as well. So they should be poised and a little more ready to make an impact on the offense, and hopefully that will help Mark Walton and help the running game as well. Freshman wide receivers Jeff Thomas and Mike Harley are making a big impact for the wide receivers, and supposedly no one has video evidence as of yet from fall camp of Berrios missing a single catch. And then it is nice, of course, to see Richards healthy again and ready to make some big plays for Miami on offense. It has also recently come out that Miami will be ranked 18th in the coaches preseason poll, and I feel like that's a pretty good spot for Miami to be. Of course, everyone wants them to be ranked. I want Miami to be number one or in the top 5 or even in the top 10, but I feel like when you are given that spot initially before the season, you kind of feel like you're better than what you are. So I kind of want them to play with a chip on their shoulder, since Florida is going to be ranked better than them, Florida State's going to be ranked better than them, and that way they kind of feel like they have to fight for it and they have something to prove. So I'm pretty happy with their ranking of number 18 in the coaches poll. And Miami's entire defense from the first week of fall camp looks great. The linebackers, the defensive backs, the defensive ends, the entire just defensive line, the safeties are all just savages. Apparently they are headhunters, just always looking for a big play or a big hit. And I really think that they're going to be even better this year, possibly maybe even one of the top defenses in the country coming up. But I won't get into that. I'm just saying that in fall camp, they are looking good, and hopefully they're going to work hard all this month and just improve and get better and better. Miami will conduct its first full contact scrimmage next Saturday. You are allowed to conduct a full contact scrimmage. I believe it's 5 days into fall camp, so they could have this Saturday, but Mark Richt kind of just wants to do, I think he calls it thudding. Basically, you hit, but you don't actually take people to the ground. So he's kind of trying to keep the players healthy, which I'm super happy about, because you really just don't want a silly injury on someone, on one of your starters, the first week into fall camp. That just that's not a good outlook for the rest of the season if you lose important players early in fall camp like that. But things are going really well, apparently, which, as always in South Florida, the heat is playing a big factor. They're having to take several water breaks to stay hydrated and not fatigue, but that is always a factor in Miami football. And Coach Mark Richt is taking the appropriate measures to make sure the players stay hydrated and healthy. But the first week of fall camp went really well. Everyone looks improved and in a better position and place than they were last season. So I'm super excited to see where next week will take us. I'm going to cover basically after each week of fall camp. We'll kind of go over some of the stories and some of the news regarding it. But from week one, everyone just looks like they're making improvements. No real solid decisions have been made really for any position as of yet. But be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to, once the season starts, what we're going to do is something kind of unique. I can't live stream the actual game itself because, of course, the NCAA will spank us for that one. We can't do that. But what I'm going to do is I'll be watching the game live, and I'll kind of just have a camera on me with reactions as we watch the game together. And of course the chat will be up as well, so we can chat, talk about the game. We can kind of hang out and just talk about the game as we watch it. So I think that'll be really cool and really fun. But for now, that's all I've got for week one of fall camp. And remember, guys, no matter what, always rep the U. For now, peace out.